Hi, gang. Running a little bit late today. Sorry, juggling a bunch of meetings and trying to fit it all in, but at least technology looks like it's working at this point. So let me take you around the world real quick and tell you what's happening. Tuesday is International Day, and so got some updates. Hopefully, will be helpful to you. So first, India. OEMs are continuing to get back into the game. Their automotive industry is cooking. They actually sold 10,000 vehicles, 10,000 motorcycles, 5,000 vehicles in the last few weeks. So they are getting back into their game. They've got a stimulus there, which is kind of moving into. So we do small, medium enterprises there. They do something, they go a little bit smaller, they go micro. So they got micro and small businesses. And so they got a stimulus plan just for those. And they're giving them a lot of latitudes in how to make payments back. So really trying to get the bottom part of their economy going and driving business, which is where a lot of the jobs are being created. They got a defense production program that had previously required maximum 49% outside investments so that the majority would be held by an Indian company. And they've relaxed that now. They've changed where that could be up to 74% can be foreign owned. So they're looking for a lot of investment in the defense-based area. So if you're in that game, they really broadened out what you can own in partnership with an Indian company. And they got about 270 billion in stimulus money that they're also putting into play to try to keep things going. And just by matter of reference, it's about 10% of their economy. Let's jump to Brazil. Brazil continues, especially in Sao Paulo, to have a lot of new cases. There's issues there. The National Bank has dumped a 1.5 billion in supporting their airlines. That's an issue there. We know that that's critical. They've had a 40% devaluation in the real, which is making imports that like what our guys are sending in really expensive, which obviously is hampering things. PMI for them 48% in April, not too bad, but still under 50, of course. And the government's taking some unusual actions. They're taking a look at national holidays and vacations later in this year and trying to actually see about legislating, pulling them all into next week and basically just putting everybody on vacation next week to try to get through the more difficult times. So, extreme measures for extreme times. Mexico, again, their OEMs, the same thing, moving along, getting back online. They're doing a lot of tracking now, the ones that have been online, to see are there any additional issues and cases and making sure they're doing that in a controlled manner. American Axle and Mercedes have now ramped up and started their facilities going. And the tech center is getting a lot more requests for sales support and service support as activity starts to turn and people are able to go mobile. Let's run over to Europe. Europe is moving from phase 3 to their phase 4, so moving things along. Those vary by country. The Baltic states are a little further along. In fact, have opened up travel between their different countries. If you take a look at Austria, Czechoslovakia, Slovakia, also, so separate from the Baltic area, of course, just talking about moving a little bit further south. Those guys are actually moving along pretty well. More normalizing things, and the EU is taking a look at overall border opening, seeing what they can do for EU citizens, only EU citizens, but Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and France are jumping on board and looking to be able to open up their borders to each other. China, they're touting that their production and consumption numbers are most of the way back up, which is interesting. Manufacturing technology, machine tool technology is up, but obviously tariffs of 25% are hurting us on putting our stuff in there, which isn't helping things at all. Flights and trains are nearly full again. And a really interesting program that they're starting out that you want to pay attention to, West Reach campaign. The West Reach campaign is, they spent most of the last 20, 30 years taking care of the eastern area within the country, along the seaboard area, Beijing down to Shenzhen, actually all the way up in Harbin, pretty much taking care of the east. They moved central, the Xi'an district, Chengdu. So they've moved in the last 10 years, really getting that area. Now they want to go west. They want to go far west. And that's where, we got 350 million people, 70% of the actual, land is out there in the far west, but only represents 20% of the actual economic activity. 60% takes place in the east, 20% in the central, and 20% in the west. And they want to get that west much higher. So low labor costs, a lot of rich resources. They're putting a lot of tax advantages out there for people to invest there. So look for a lot of activity happening over the next 10 years on the western part of China. So a lot of opportunities if you're putting out technology into that area. So that's the information. My one yesterday was chopped up a lot, but just want to make sure you know that your AMT News has a lot of great stories in it. There's a digital version with the paper version sitting in an office that you're not at. Don't worry, the digital version is available at amtnews.org and also on our AMT online website. Either place you can get the digital version of the AMT News. Good stories and information in there that hopefully you can use. So with that, thank you very much. Sorry I'm late. Hopefully it was helpful. Have a great evening.